Spider-Man 2 is going to be one of the biggest games of this year, if not the game of the year. The state of play 12-minute demo that blew everyone's minds is just the tip of the iceberg to what we can expect, as Sony has put out a blog post with details on what we can expect when the game is released. So let's begin. First off, a lot of people are still trying to figure out when the actual release date is. All we've had before the state of play, as well as the state of play, is fall 2023. However, the confirmation for the release date seems to have been set in stone by Insomniac Games. After the mind-blowing demo, Insomniac Games posted this to their official Twitter account. Watching your reactions today has been spectacular. We know you have tons of questions about Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and we are eager to share more soon, including news about the release date, pre-orders, and accessibility features. So fingers crossed we get some sort of release date and pre-order announcement in the next few weeks. We will more than likely see this dropped as well via the PlayStation blog, as this is where Sony seems to be putting a lot of their console exclusive release dates and other information from now on. This also does make me wonder if we're going to get any sort of collector or premium edition, like we did with the PS4 version of Spider-Man, where we had comics and that really cool Spidey statue. Are we going to see a Peter and Miles statue together? Are they going to be fighting Venom? Is it going to be them against Kraven? Or is it going to be Peter in the symbiote suit fighting Miles? There's so many questions regarding this game and what they could put out as a statue. I just can't wait to see it. Before we do move on to the actual gameplay, if you like what you're watching, it would be great if you could consider subscribing by hitting that big old button. It's free for you and would help me out greatly. So, the gameplay, Spider-Man 2 and what we can expect from it. Insomniac and PlayStation, they start right off the bat by telling us that we will get an expanded New York City sandbox to play in. On the blog, they have put out the following. Setting the stage for our gameplay reveal, Kraven's Hunters, a new enemy faction, are in pursuit of Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard. Peter needs to stop him. We kick things off at Connors' home across the East River in Queens, when the all-new playable and explorable boroughs we're introducing in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Having a bigger New York City is what I've wanted ever since I played Spider-Man PS4. Even in the Miles games, I love just swinging around the city, going to the top of buildings, jumping off, enjoying the view while we do some air tricks. Seeing that we now have explorable boroughs, I'm hoping that we see a lot more and may be able to interact with certain buildings. For actual gameplay mechanics though, it looks like that we will be getting cozy with the L1 button. As the blog post tells us, the super popular suit can strike fear in almost anyone who comes face to face with it. But Kraven isn't just anyone, and his highly trained hunters aren't afraid of a brawl. Fret not. New combat abilities can neutralize our new headstrong opponents with a little finesse. Strike back with aggressive parries to gain the upper hand. Cast a web to shunt enemies between a hard place and a harder place. You can also activate a classic dodge to get out of danger. But don't get too comfortable, some attacks can't simply be dodged and will require a parry to properly evade them. Our animators put the work in to deliver a much more impulsive Peter Parker, fitting for the symbiote bonded to his person, without sacrificing his combative finesse. New takedowns humble even the most rugged enemies, and new combat animations push Spider-Man's limits. To go along with this news, here on the user interface, we get a new look at some of the abilities for L1 and R1, which seem to work with the pressing of the 4 key PlayStation buttons. The L1 usage seems to have moves for the symbiote, and R1 has 2 gadget abilities selected, which looks like a bomb and some sort of mine. When it goes over to Miles, we have the same R1 layout and gadgets chosen, but L1 shows 4 different icon abilities, which more than likely will be his Venom Dash and other powers that he can use. Along with all these brand new abilities, the move which I cannot wait to try out is this one in particular. As the demo plays on, we then switch to Miles in what seems like an instant switch, which is just pure bliss. As the PS4 Spider-Man and Miles games, it kinda took a few seconds to switch through scenes, but with the power of the PS5, this can now be instant. Miles demonstrates his new slingshot ability, which was just gorgeous to see in action, as he launches himself for what looks like pun intended, Miles. The city just looks so damn good as well, and you can actually see NPCs in the windows as you pass them, which is just a little touch of realism, but a brilliant touch at that. Now that Miles and Peter have the web wings as well, it's just the icing on the cake. Seeing how far they can take you and the wind pockets you can travel through, it does give me some sort of inkling that we may have some more of the training facilities and the training missions we had in the first two games. The blog post does finish up with how the new fight and stealth mechanics can work, as we see Miles do a double takedown while perched on his webbing, which is one of the biggest details I love from this demo so far, as it does remind me of Batman in Arkham Knight with his zipline wire. Miles has new abilities which shown in a demo as well, called the Thunderburst, which unleashes an electrifying ground pound against a group of foes, and we also saw a glimpse of the Chain Lightning ability, which has a shocking radius of effect on any nearby enemies. It just looked like they've mixed Miles with Ryu from Street Fighter, and I'm all for it. When this is released later this year, I can see it becoming one of the most sought PS5 games ever. That's all we got for this little update on Spider-Man 2, guys. Take care and enjoy your day.